In early May of 2022, former child star and current radio personality Danny Bonaduce announced to the world he was going to be taking a break from his Seattle radio show as a result of a mystery illness. While some might imagine the former Partridge Family member was simply being coy by refusing to address this mystery illness by name, it seems that Danny truly has no idea what the condition is he's become afflicted with. Join FactsVerse as Danny Bonaduce vanishes to battle an unknown illness. Recently, former child star Danny Bonaduce made a shocking announcement to fans via his official Twitter account. For the past several decades, Danny has made a name for himself as a radio personality in Seattle. In the announcement, Danny revealed he's going to be taking a break from his hosting duties for an undisclosed period of time. The reason for the break is a mysterious illness that Danny claims to be trying his best to get diagnosed. The name of his show is The Danny Bonaduce and Sarah Show, and it airs on 102.5 KZOK-FM in Seattle. Danny made the announcement he was going to be taking a leave from the show in early May 2022, and fans were heartbroken. Thankfully, the show's co-host will remain on the air and take over main hosting duties while Danny works to get his medical problems sorted out. Danny's co-host is Sarah, who has hitherto refused to reveal her last name to the public. Although Danny's announcement via his official Twitter seemed optimistic and made it clear his medical leave was only intended to be temporary, it has troubled many fans that the former child star doesn't seem to be sure exactly what he's suffering from. Fans initially suspected Danny might have been lying about his illness being undiagnosed as a way to get out of delivering bad news to his fans. Some suspected the star had become aware he was suffering from a fatal disease like cancer and was either keeping the illness from his fans or was in denial about the severity of the illness himself. But according to Danny's sister, whatever condition it is that is plaguing her brother truly remains a mystery to them both. Danny needs a diagnosis, pronto. It seems the main reason for Danny taking his medical leave is to simply try to track down a doctor who can give him a diagnosis for whatever problem is ailing him. The announcement that the former child star made came complete with a picture of him using a cane, with Danny joking he had now joined the ranks of such cane-wielding icons as Willy Wonka and Charlie Chaplin. However, it remains unclear why Danny needs a cane or if there's any chance of him ever not needing one. According to Danny Bonaduce, he'll be back on the air soon. But if the star doesn't even know what he's been suffering from, it seems he may be being a little too optimistic about his future. Thankfully, he seems to have a good deal of support coming his way from his sister, whose name is Celia Bonaduce. Following Danny's announcement, Celia posted another picture of a cane-wielding Danny on her own Facebook page. This post came complete with a heartfelt message giving public support to her brother, and Danny subsequently shared the message to his Twitter. Danny is now 62, and the former child star has been through a lot since his days on the Partridge Family. A great deal of support has come the radio show host's way via fans, with Danny having a fairly big base of fans in Seattle. Those fans are anxious for Danny to get back on the air, and the former child star claims he's just as anxious to get back on the air himself. But in the meantime, he's taking it easy. According to his sister, Danny enjoys hearing positive messages from his fans and gets a great amount of solace from them, though not as much as he gets from Dairy Queen. It seems Celia is keeping her brother stocked up on Dairy Queen ice cream cones as he fights to find a diagnosis for what ails him. Before we tell you more about Danny and his mystery illness, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. This isn't the first time Danny's had trouble. Danny has been through a lot in the years since his days on the Partridge Family turned him into one of the biggest child stars in the world. Though it made him famous, it didn't make him rich or happy. In fact, Danny's time on the series was miserable, and he has very little to show for it today besides a lifetime of mental issues. Many child stars have a couple of good years and then things go bad when they get older. This wasn't the case for Danny Bonaduce. In Danny's case, things started out bad and only got worse. Danny's time on the Partridge Family was never fun, and he was forced into acting at the behest of his abusive father. Shirley Jones, who played Danny's on-screen mother on the series, noticed the markings on young Danny's body one day during filming, but there was little the actress could do to make Danny's living situation any better. As a way of coping with the abuse being inflicted on him at home, young Danny turned to substance abuse during the filming of the series. He began using illicit substances as a means to alleviate the stress of both his unwanted fame and the abuse he was receiving at home from his father. The young star was never comfortable with the popularity he received as a result of his appearance on the show, and was subsequently never quite comfortable in his own skin. He became a full-blown addict by the time the series was over. The Partridge Family ended in 1974, and Danny found himself with nowhere to go. Danny hit rock bottom after the Partridge Family. By the time the show ended, Danny's relationship with his father was destroyed. He was also broke as a result of the meager sums he'd received during his days on the series, despite the fact it was a huge commercial hit. According to Danny, he only made $400 an episode. Like many child stars, Danny found himself having an incredibly hard time getting work after his show ended. His substance abuse issues only exacerbated these problems. Before long, Danny had hit rock bottom and was a homeless drug addict. Despite the immense amount of struggle that Danny had in the years following his time on the Partridge Family, he was eventually able to turn things around and make a name for himself in a medium that wasn't television. By the 90s, Danny had become a radio star in Seattle, and things were looking up for him. Sadly, though, the start of his radio days did not put an end to his controversy. As he set about making a name for himself on the radio, he continued having many of the same problems that had plagued him since the end of his days on the Partridge Family. It seems Danny's new career wasn't enough to inspire him to give up his substance addiction, and it continued to plague him into the 90s and beyond. It's only in the past decade that Danny truly seems to have put most of his demons behind him. Now, it seems his medical problems are making it hard to enjoy this freedom. Danny's second marriage lasted nearly 2 decades. Danny Bonaduce had a short-lived marriage during the 80s, but the wife most people associate him with is arguably Gretchen Hilmer, to whom he was married from 1990 to 2007. The two starred together on the 2006 reality television series Breaking Bonaduce, which showed the pair attempting to put an end to Danny's aberrant substance abuse issues once and for all. While the show may or may not have helped much with Danny's addiction, it certainly didn't help with the pair's marriage. Danny and Gretchen had 2 kids, Dante and Isabella. It seems substance abuse was an issue for Danny throughout the majority of his nearly 2-decade-long marriage to Gretchen. Some of the many controversial moments from their marriage include a 1991 incident where Danny was busted for soliciting sexual favors from a transsexual prostitute, as well as an incident in the mid-2000s when the radio host apparently assaulted a Survivor cast member. Both fans and Danny himself remain optimistic. Danny's now married to his 3rd wife, Amy Railsback. Fans are hoping the former child star can find out what's wrong with him soon so he can be back on the air as soon as possible. In the meantime, Sarah will be around to host the Danny Bonaduce and Sarah Show. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Danny Bonaduce? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.